Good morning, this is Shelby Law with the Great Basin Fire Potential Briefing for Friday, June 7th, 2024. Fire potential impacts for the next couple of days are shown here. The main thing is the continuing heat across the southern Great Basin. It's hot everywhere in the Great Basin today, but it's near record heat across the southern tier. The heat diminishes a bit on Saturday, more so across the north, but a smaller area of near record heat on Saturday. And then by Sunday, we'll see some gustier winds down south with heat returning to near normal-ish, still above normal, but warm temperatures across the south for the time of year, but not quite near record. And then we do have some moisture in place across the central Great Basin today, lingering a bit on Saturday, and then another increase in moisture across the north on Sunday. Okay, the past 24 hours are shown here. We have the precip on the left and lightning on the right. We did see some precipitation with the storms late yesterday over Nevada, and just some very light precip in Utah there with those storms. Recent fire activity is shown here with new IA in far western Nevada and in Utah. These fires are all pretty small. Precipitation for the past 7 days on the left and the past 30 days on the right is shown here. Here we're looking at the observed precip over the past week, not including yesterday, which we did have some in Nevada and yesterday, and then the percent of normal for the past 30 days is showing quite a dry signal across much of Nevada and Utah. Again, not including the precip from yesterday. Okay, our ERCs, current ERCs are shown here. Most of the northern half to northern 2/3 of the basin is still showing ERCs below the 50th percentile, but definitely on the upward swing with the high pressure ridge in place over the region. Across the south and east, we do have some stations that have been increasing above the 50th to 70th percentile, and we even have a few above the 80th and one above the 90th here. So that heat definitely having an impact on our ERCs, and we'll continue to see high ERCs for the next couple of days as the heat remains in place. Okay, taking a closer look here at a couple of our zones here in western Nevada, we can see the values are above average for the time of year, but still below that, kind of between the 50th and the 80th percentile there. And across southern Utah and the Arizona Strip, we have higher values that are between the 80th and the 90th percentile, of course with some few outliers there, but on the upward swing for sure and above normal for the time of year. Okay, let's look at the forecast here for today. We do have continued high pressure in place across the basin, leading to another very hot day across the area, especially over the south with those near record temperatures. Some moisture in place over far western or far eastern Nevada and western Utah for some another round of thunderstorms there today. No high risk triggers issued. High temperatures are going to be in the mid to upper 90s across western Nevada, and looks like 109 in Vegas, and still very hot across much of Utah and southern Nevada, or Utah and southern Idaho. Probability of precip is shown here on the right, looking for another round of showers and thunderstorms, mostly kind of a spotty precip here in western and eastern Nevada, and then a little bit lighter over much of northern and central Utah. On Saturday, we'll see the high pressure remain in place, a drier pattern, kind of a drier day in between storms as we look for a low pressure trough moving into the Pacific Northwest. No high risk triggers are issued on Saturday. Still another hot day, of course, with the high pressure ridge in place. Slightly cooler, just a touch cooler over western Nevada. Still very warm in western Idaho and Utah. Very low probability of precipitation on Saturday with generally sunny skies to some partly cloudy conditions. Looks like there's a slight chance of some storms over the Uintas. On Sunday, that trough moves into the Pacific Northwest, bringing another shot of moisture to the Great Basin, especially to the north, Idaho, Wyoming, northern Utah, and possibly across central Nevada as well. So looking at the probability of precip here on the right, looks again, Idaho stands a chance for a shower here and there, western Wyoming, far northern Nevada, and the higher elevations of northern, central, eastern Utah. Some gusty winds are expected across the southern Great Basin on Sunday as that trough moves across the north, but not looking for very, very high gusts, maybe 20-25 miles an hour or so. But in the wake of the heat over the next couple of days, that might be something to watch. Okay, 3-day precipitation totals are shown here. The precip in eastern Nevada is expected today, and some precip in Utah today as well, and then the precip coming into Idaho on Sunday. Okay, as we head into the first of next week, that trough quickly moves off to the east, bringing a little bit of lingering moisture into Utah on Monday, but generally dry otherwise, and then drying and closer to normal hot summer conditions as we head into the midweek, Tuesday and Wednesday. Ridge of high pressure, ridge of high pressure to the south with a generally westerly flow in place over the Great Basin, so we should see more seasonal temperatures by midweek. And that should continue into Thursday with continued generally dry and warm conditions. 7-day precip totals look a lot like the 3-day, as most of the precip is coming in the short term today and Sunday. The extended forecast for June 14th through the 20th is putting much of the heat across the central and eastern part of the country, but that will affect the eastern half of the Great Basin with below normal temperatures across the northwest coast and near normal precipitation for the Great Basin. This concludes today's briefing. Please check back on Monday for the latest updates.